Introduction. The economy of Malaysia is heavily dependent on palm oil plantation, which position the nation as one of the top nations in the production and export of this useful good. Beginning in the early 20th century, Malaysian palm oil plantation have grown to become a prominent area of the country's agriculture economy. Notwithstanding the financial gains, the growth of palm oil plantation has brought up a number of environmental and social concerns, including habitat degradation, biodiversity loss, and deforestation.
Do you guys know what are occupational health hazards in palm plantations? Firstly, chemical hazards. Exposure to pesticides and herbicides can cause acute poisoning, respiratory issues, skin irritations, and long-term health effects such as cancer. Secondly, biological hazards can lead to vector-borne disease because plantations are often located in tropical areas where diseases such as malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus are prevalent. Thirdly, physical hazard cause heat stress because working in hot, humid conditions can lead to dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Next, ergonomic hazards. Tasks like cutting fruit bunches involve repetitive motions, which can cause repetitive strain injuries. Last but not least, psychosocial hazards. Job insecurity, low wages, high production demands, and poor living conditions can contribute to mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, and depression. There are many factors contributing to the accident. Firstly, lack of training. Insufficient training in safe working practices and the use of protective equipment such as respirators can exacerbate health risks. Nextly, inadequate health and safety measures. Poor implementation of health and safety protocols, lack of personal protective equipment, and insufficient medical facilities contribute to higher injury and illness rates. Besides that, poor living conditions are also one of the factors. These including inadequate sanitation access to clean water and an employee's unhygienic habit can exacerbate health problems and reduce workers' overall well-being.
Management failure, which is caused by the chemical safety data sheet provided, was lacking in information about the specific personal protective equipment. Also, the management lacked knowledge in managing their employees' safety also contributed to the accident.
Lastly, machinery and tools. Use of sharp tools and heavy machinery increases the risk of accidents such as cuts, amputations, and crush injuries.
We will move on to risk analysis of investigation process. First step, identify the hazard. Chemical hazards, methamphetamine exposed through inhalation, skin contact, or ingestion. Physical hazard, injuries from motorized drill and injection equipment. Biological hazard, potential infection from handling soil and plant material without proper protective gear. Second step, do risk assessment. Severity, given that methamphetamine is a potent acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, exposure can lead to severe health issues including symptoms experienced by the worker. Probability, the lack of training, absence of personal protective equipment PPE, and unsafe work practices increase the likelihood of exposure. Third step, control measures. Based on a hierarchy of controls, conduct eliminating substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPE. Fourth step, investigate the accident by conducting interviews with the affected workers, their colleagues, and supervisors. Review all the records by examining training records, PPE insurance record, and CSTs. Do site inspection. Assess the work environment and practices for compliance with safety standards. Lastly, document and report all the investigation findings. Compile the information on the hazards, risks, and control measures for future reference. Suggest improvement to prevent future incidents from happening.
Based on the case provided, here is the risk analysis worksheet that include first, hazard identification, which present activity hazard factor, its description, and potential impact. Second, risk analysis, which present likelihood, severity, and risk level. Third, risk control, which present the control measures of the hazards.
In conclusion, although they are essential to Malaysia's economy, palm oil plantation can cause societal problems. The goal of sustainable projects like RSPO and MPOCC is to strike a balance between social and environmental responsibility and financial gain. Sustaining a sustainable, ethical, and ecologically sensitive palm oil sectors requires unwavering dedication to strict guidelines, openness, and international collaboration.